So this is Adam Davis from the State 4-H office, and today I'm going to do a little follow-up on last week's webinar. Last week I did some advanced reporting, and this is taking that training a step further. First, I'd like to share where these, if you missed the webinar from last week, I'll share where that lives. So on the enrollment page in our staff site, you'll see all the webinars I've done, including the one from last week that you may not have seen. And while I'm here, I'm also going to point out this reporting procedures document. So this is a brand new document put out by the State 4-H office. It's tied in with 4-H Online because it has the project naming conventions that we're now using. If I open this up, you'll see that it's a Word document. It's quite long, it's about 18 pages, but it has all the new project names in there that I shared last week as well. Again, I have let me show you this updated manual as well. Also on the enrollment page, I've created a manual, and I've gotten some feedback that this didn't delve too deeply into the process for doing bulk mailings. So the last 4 or 5 pages of this is now specifically about broadcast emails, text messages, setting up the reports. So if that's the best way you learn, you'll find that that's in the manual that we just updated today. If that's not the best way you learn and you'd like me to come out to your association and do a training, I've been out to 5 or 6 counties now, and I'm more than happy to do that if you feel a small group training works best for you. On Friday, I'll be sharing a document called the year-end process, and I'm just waiting for my colleagues to comment on this, but I'll give you a little preview of it. This is going to outline what happens at the end of the year in 4-H Online. The big change in 4-H Online is that you can't work in 2 years at once. So after October 1st, the system will shut down for 2014, 2015 for individual enrollees. What this means is that you'll need to get your members in there for 2014 by October 1st because you can't go back and add them to a prior year. This isn't true for group enrollments. Group enrollments will have another month until the system shuts down for them. I know that group enrollment paperwork comes in awful late and even after the program year has ended, so there's going to be a month extension for those, and that is tied in with the SUNY reporting that Celeste Carmichael does as well. So those dates are going to be pretty strict. It gives your executive director time to sign off on the numbers in the SUNY system, and it's just the structure of this system that once it shuts down for this program year, it's shut down and you'll be in the next program year. The state project list, as I mentioned, it's in that reporting document. It's also in a report that I showed in last week's webinar, so I won't go through and do that again. As I shared last week, I'm beginning to create a series of state reports that you can then use, or you can actually customize those. So as I get a pile of requests to go into your account and create a report for you, if it seems like a good idea for all the associations to have access to it, I'll just create a state report, and you can use that report as it is, or you can customize it. Before I demonstrate that, are there any questions about what I've just gone over? Okay, well then let's jump right into 4-H Online. You can't see my 4-H Online, can you? So if you didn't see this, this was the enrollment page that I was talking about, which has the reporting procedures I alluded to, and you may not have seen the PDF that I just showed. I was looking at my laptop and not the big screen, so let me just show you that real quick. Okay. And this is the rollover document. This will go out with our Friday news this Friday, and it just gives a timeline of the year-end process in 4-H Online. Okay, so I'm in 4-H Online, and I want to see where the state reports that I have created are. And if I'm a county person, I'm going to go to my reports screen. And in that screen, I'm in my test county, so there's a bunch of test reports in there right now. It defaults to the custom field. Now, a state report will be in your shared folder. Now, yes, in your shared folder, there's going to be a little tab that says state. These are the statewide reports that I've created for the associations to use. I can make as many of these as you would like. The problem with these reports is that once you select one, you can only run the report. So if you run the report, it'll give you a PDF. And this is going to give you the fields that I put in there. So this report is for adults missing acknowledgement of risk forms. It tells you their role, it tells you which forms they're missing, gives you some contact information in their name. So if this is helpful for you, you're pretty much done. If not, and you want to see it in Excel, I'll just demonstrate that. You can export that by clicking Excel and then the export button. And it gives you exactly what you just saw, but it'll be an Excel file. If I were to enable editing with this, and I wanted to sort this, because there's so many merged fields and everything in this, it's really not a terribly helpful report. Another thing you might find is that there's something missing on this state report that you'd want for yourself. So if I go ahead and close this report, it brings me back to my reports, and you see in this shared folder, these state reports, I only have the option to run them or memorize them. So let's say I like that 98% of that report, but it had something missing. So I'm going to go ahead and click the report, and then I'm going to memorize it. So since this is a county report, I might call this County Adults Missing AOR. I noticed the Code of Conduct was on there, so we'll just add and Code of Conduct. And we can title this any way we want. It's an internal description of the report. If we were to click the share with the club, that would mean that a club leader managing the members of his club could also utilize this report. So now that we've got it titled the way we want, we can go ahead and copy our report. And now this is essentially my report. It's not a state report anymore, but the screen that it defaults to is missing something over here. It's the report creation field, so you don't really know what this report is going to tell you unless you go to your grid view, and then you'll see that the fields are listed there that I've selected. Now, I can't really do too much if I want to add something to the report at that point, but since it is my report, I can go ahead and go to one of the tabs and just save this report by going to the bottom, clicking Save. Now that's my report, and if I were to go back to Reports, it's the shared state report is still in the shared folder, but no changes have been made to that. That's always going to look the same. Only me at the state level can edit those. But now if you go to your custom field, you'll see that that report resides within your custom reports. So it's as if you created the report. At that point, you can go ahead and you can edit your report. And once you go to edit your report, you can click on my favorite field, which is the grid view, which is going to be a quick snapshot of your report. So if I'm in the county, don't really email people when they have a missing AOR form. Maybe I want to give them a call. I'll just then go back to the report options, and I would select the phone number for the family. by going to family, primary phone. I can add that. Maybe I want that to come right after their name, so I can go ahead and move that so it'll be the second field on my report. Of course, I'm going to save this. And I can go to my grid view, and I'll now see that that report that was created at the state level that I've now copied to my county account has the family's primary phone number. While I'm here, I can go back and see how Adam set this form up. So how would you figure out who doesn't have a signed code of conduct or AOR? You go to the data and format options. You'll see that for this state report, I've created a custom filter saying signed code of conduct on file equals no, or, well, it should say additional AOR equals no. And I can save that report. It's now mine, and I can run it anytime I'd like. I can customize it to add or delete fields, or I can change the filters. If I wanted to make this to just youth, I could then just take out the adult, select youth, save it, go back to the report creation, and call this County Youth Missing AOR Forms. Now the report won't spit out adults, it'll only spit out youth for you. As you'll see by the member role saying youth at this point. And that's all I have for you today. Are there any questions about that or anything that I've talked about? All right, well, I appreciate you joining me today. I like doing these quick little webinars as a kind of my tricks and tips as I move through the system. If you have any questions following this webinar, feel free to give me a call, shoot me an email. I know that setting up the reports is a kind of a cumbersome process, but I'm here to help you any way I can. And I think if I get requests from you for reports, that helps me out to be able to create them and even adapt them for your county if you'd like, but to have a nice series of stock reports in your shared folder. All right, if there's no questions, I'll go ahead and conclude. Thanks again, folks.
Adam?
Uh-huh.
Hi, this is Linda. How are you?
Great, how are you, Linda?
Can I ask you a question that does not relate to reports?
Sure.
Remember I asked you when I saw you a month or so ago in regards to how do we get a printout of the secondary clubs, the secondary and the tertiary clubs that the youth belong to?
I actually created a report for that.
You're the best.
Yeah, I still have it in the testing phase in the test county, but
okay.
I'll go ahead and create a state level report, and then that'll give you a chance to go into your shared folder and look at those dairy clubs.
Thank you very much, Adam.
You're welcome. Thanks for reminding me about that.
You're welcome. Have a nice day.
You too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Any other questions before I wrap up? All right. Well, thank you, folks.